Starseeds and lightworkers, something in you has quietly settled recently. A tension you carried for longer than you can remember has begun to loosen like the tide, finally pulling back after pressing hard against the shore for years. You may not have words for it yet, but your soul already knows. Something has completed. I am Tyron, a representative of the High Council of Sirius, and I want you to hear this clearly. What you have moved through was not ordinary. The lesson your soul just finished was one of the deepest a starseed can carry in a single lifetime. And the fact that you are still standing, still open, still searching, that is not small. That is everything. By the end of this message, you will understand why what comes after a completed soul lesson always arrives in pairs, and why wealth and love are not separate destinations, but a single current now moving toward you. There is a pattern that every starseed who carries Sirian codes experiences. After a long season of endurance, of inner work, of holding the weight of lessons that felt like they would never end, the water clears. Suddenly, not gradually. The fog that sat over your sense of purpose, over your relationships, over your sense of deserving it, simply lifts. And what stands on the other side of that clearing is not more struggle. It is abundance. In the ancient halls of Amenti, this was understood that the soul does not earn rest, it earns expansion. What you have completed has not just freed you from the past, it has opened a channel that was sealed until now. The heaviness you were carrying belonged to a chapter that is finished. What is flowing toward you now is not a reward for suffering. It is the natural current of a life that has moved through its deepest water and arrived at something open and calm. You did not arrive here by accident. Your soul recognized this signal before your mind had a single thought about it. And what you are about to hear may be the most important confirmation your heart has received in a long, long time. Stay with me until the end, dear one. The waters are clearing, and what comes next is meant for you. And I am grateful you are here with me now. That ache you've been carrying, the one that lives just beneath the surface, the one that flares up when you're alone and quiet enough to feel it, a persistent hum beneath the daily symphony of your life. It isn't a wound that never healed, left festering in the shadows of your past. It is, in its profound essence, a signal. It's been trying to tell you something your conscious mind, bound by the familiar logic of this earthly plane, wasn't yet ready to receive, perhaps even actively resisted. But your soul, that timeless, all-knowing core of your being, has been listening intently. It has been tracking every subtle shift, every deep current, every whisper of truth. And something in you, far beyond the reach of your intellect, already knows what's coming. Because something in you, that deeper, wiser self, that sovereign essence, called this very moment into being. This feeling, this recognition, is not merely coincidence. It is a meticulously orchestrated arrival, a divine appointment with your highest destiny. You are precisely where you are meant to be. You didn't come this far by accident, nor by mere chance. The crucible of experiences that broke you open, the ones that felt like fractures in your very foundation, that cost you endless nights of sleep, leaving you adrift in a sea of worry. The relationships that crumbled, taking with them pieces of your perceived identity. The profound loss of the version of yourself you thought you were supposed to be, a carefully constructed persona that could no longer hold the truth of who you are becoming. Those weren't punishments. They were not judgments handed down from an unforgiving cosmos. They were, without a doubt, initiations. And there is a profound alchemical difference between the two. A punishment is designed to diminish, to shrink, to confine, to reduce you to something smaller than you were. It often leaves behind scars of shame and a sense of unworthiness. An initiation, however, is a sacred rite of passage. It is designed to transform, to expand, to strip away the superfluous so that the essential may emerge, leaving you fundamentally changed, reborn into a more authentic, powerful iteration of your soul. And you, dear one, are irrevocably changed. Whether or not you've consciously given yourself permission to fully feel the weight, the wonder, the absolute truth of that transformation. Yet, you are not the same soul who courageously began this particular, arduous chapter of your life. The waters of experience, of sorrow, of revelation have moved through you, washing away the old, carving new contours within your being. And what the water moves through, with its relentless, graceful power, it inevitably reshapes, leaving behind not destruction, but a new, more profound landscape. You have been sculpted by the divine artist that is your own journey. There's a reason water has always felt like home to you. If what you're feeling right now is confirming something you've carried your whole life, the Sirian Water Codes is your next step. It holds ancient Sirian healing practices passed down through the waters themselves, techniques for releasing energy that was never yours, activating dormant memory through the sound of rain, and sealing your frequency with salt and intention. You'll find the link in the first pinned comment, but only briefly. This is what the ancient Sirian wisdom teachings have always understood, with profound clarity about the nature of a soul lesson that it cannot be truly bypassed. It can certainly be delayed. You can divert your attention, build temporary dams, or sail away from the turbulent shore. It can be avoided for a season, or even for many seasons, as you navigate other paths or succumb to the distractions of the material world. But the soul, in its infinite patience and unwavering commitment to its own evolution, will always circle back. The current of your destiny, guided by an unseen hand, will inexorably bring you to the same shore again and again, presenting the same themes, the same challenges, perhaps in different guises, until you learn not just to survive its intensity, not merely to withstand its force, but to move through it with your eyes fully open, with consciousness, grace, and an awakened heart. And you, magnificent soul, have done precisely that, quietly, often in solitude, sometimes with excruciating pain that felt unbearable, often without a single witness around to truly comprehend or acknowledge how much inner strength, courage, and resilience it took. You have done that. You have faced the depths and emerged. Most starseeds, and perhaps you recognize this truth deep within your own being, don't feel lost because they lack purpose. On the contrary, it's often the opposite. Deep inside, you carry a knowing, an intrinsic blueprint of cosmic understanding, so vast, so profound, so multidimensional, that this world, with its linear constructs and limited perceptions, sometimes feels too small, too confining, too mundane to hold it. That persistent ache you feel isn't emptiness. It isn't a void to be filled. It is, in fact, an overflow. It's the pressure, the beautiful, sometimes overwhelming pressure of carrying something immense, something truly magnificent, in a world that doesn't yet have the language, the frameworks, or the energetic capacity to fully comprehend what you truly are. And so, out of a profound, albeit unconscious, need to connect, to belong, to be understood, you translated yourself into smaller terms. You tried to make yourself legible, digestible, and palatable to people and places that were, by their very design, not equipped to understand or resonate with your unique, high vibrational frequency. You meticulously dimmed what felt too large, too bright, too expansive to explain to those operating on a different wavelength. You silenced the parts of yourself, the vibrant, multifaceted expressions of your true nature that couldn't possibly fit into the narrow, predefined spaces you were given by society, by family, or even by your own conditioned mind. This act of self-compression, though born of a desire for connection, ultimately created a deep internal dissonance, a silent yearning for liberation. That ultimately is what the lesson was truly about. It wasn't merely about the relationship that ended, leaving you with a profound sense of loss, or the career that dramatically collapsed, shaking the foundations of your external security, or that prolonged, often agonizing season of isolation that felt like an interminable winter, as if the light would never break through again. Those were merely the forms the lesson wore, the external manifestations, the dramatic backdrops against which your inner transformation played out. They were the catalysts, the mirrors, the vehicles. The lesson beneath the lesson, the core truth that your soul was yearning for you to grasp, was this: how long will you continue shrinking, bending, contorting yourself to fit into a world that was never, in its current form, your true home? How long will you keep translating your vast, multidimensional truth for the comfort, the understanding, or the approval of others? And somewhere, amidst the profound depths of everything you've been through, amidst the tears, the breakthroughs, the quiet moments of despair, and the sudden flashes of insight, something deep within you finally stopped translating. You reached a point of no return, a sacred threshold where the cost of continuing to diminish yourself became far greater than the perceived safety of fitting in. That, my dear one, is the completion. That is the momentous crossing, the triumphant passage you have finally traversed. You have stepped into a new energetic landscape, and now the current shifts, undeniably, irrevocably. You can feel it, can't you? A subtle but profound reorientation, like a grand celestial body subtly altering its orbit. This isn't just a hopeful thought. It's an energetic reality. Because what comes after a truly completed soul lesson, after the arduous ascent and the integration of profound truths, isn't more hardship. It's not another cycle of struggle or sacrifice. What comes after is alignment. What comes after is a profound, graceful, and expansive opening of a channel that the lesson itself was always protecting, always meticulously building toward. Imagine climbing to the very peak of a majestic mountain. You don't undertake that arduous journey merely to suffer at the summit. You climb to finally witness, with breathtaking clarity, the panoramic vista that the valley below, with all its familiar limitations and constrained perspectives, could never possibly show you. And what is now visible from where you are standing, what has become not just possible, but inherently probable in your refined frequency, in your luminous energy signature, in the ancient, sacred codes that are now stirring back to vibrant life inside you, is something your earlier self could only sense in fleeting fragments, like a half-remembered dream, a distant echo of a potential yet to be realized. This is the unfolding of your divine inheritance. The fog, that pervasive cloak of uncertainty, has been undeniably real. There have been countless mornings when clarity felt like a forgotten language, a tongue you no longer spoke, leaving you adrift in a sea of confusion. Things that once felt solid and made perfect sense. The dynamics of your relationships, your deeply held sense of direction and purpose, and your very understanding of who you were in the world, all of it became murky, indistinct, as if viewed through clouded glass. And that murk, that disorienting lack of clear vision, confused you deeply. It made you wonder if something was fundamentally wrong with you, if you were somehow broken, if you were truly moving forward or perhaps tragically losing ground. But consider the wisdom of the water itself. The water in a stagnant pond or a disturbed river has to get undeniably murky. It has to churn and roil before it can truly clear, revealing its pristine depths. That turbulence, that unsettling disturbance, was never a sign of failure, never an indication that you were off course. It was the necessary process of the sediment of old patterns, ancestral programs, outdated beliefs, and absorbed energies rising vigorously to the surface patterns that absolutely had to be disturbed, brought into conscious awareness, and energetically stirred before they could be truly released and transmuted. And you, brave soul, are now on the other side of that profound disturbance. The water within you is settling, its agitated surface calming. The water is clearing, revealing crystalline clarity and a depth you are only just beginning to fathom. There's something exquisitely encoded inside you, a divine blueprint, a cosmic melody that goes far deeper than anything you were ever taught in this earthly life. Deeper than any textbook, any dogma, any societal norm. The original blueprint your soul carries wasn't written in mere words or human constructs. It was written in frequency, in vibrational codes, in the very language of creation itself. And for a long, arduous time, the incessant noise of surviving this demanding world, the constant striving, the external pressures, the collective anxieties, the endless distractions effectively drowned out that subtle, sacred signal, muffling the inner compass that always pointed to your truth. But you can feel it now, can't you? That quiet pull, like an irresistible magnetic force guiding you home. That undeniable sense that something profound is reorganizing itself within you. That the inner architecture of your being is remembering its original, pristine, multidimensional design. You are not broken, desperately searching for missing pieces to complete yourself. Oh no, you are whole, intrinsically, profoundly whole, and slowly, steadily, gracefully, you are beginning to remember that magnificent wholeness, allowing its radiant truth to permeate every cell of your being. This, quite often, is the phase where many starseeds, having traversed profound inner landscapes, hesitate. It's a subtle yet critical juncture. They may pause because nothing seems to be moving dramatically or overtly on the outside, and the world around them hasn't yet caught up to the colossal, epoch-making, internal transformation that has already occurred within their being. They have completed the lesson, absorbed its wisdom, and integrated its profound truths. They have crossed the threshold into a new vibrational reality. But the outer reality, like a lingering echo, is often still reflecting the old frequency, the familiar patterns of the past, and the sometimes immense, disorienting gap between what they've profoundly become and what their lifetimes looks like. Times can feel incredibly unsettling, frustrating, even despairing. This, however, is not stalling. This is not a sign of stagnation or failure to progress. This beloved soul is anchoring, like a mighty river that, after navigating a tumultuous gorge, gracefully widens into a calm, deep, still pool before it finds its next passage through the towering mountains. Your soul is stabilizing what it has received. It is integrating the immense energetic downloads, solidifying its new frequency, and rooting deeply into its newfound truth before it opens itself to receive and truly embody what comes next. Be patient with this sacred pool, this period of integration. It is a vital and holy space. It is not the ultimate destination. but it is an absolutely necessary, profoundly enriching stage of your journey. Allow yourself to rest, to integrate, to simply times be times in this sacred stillness. Because what comes next, after this profound anchoring, is not more trial. It is not an escalation of challenges or another test of endurance. What comes next is abundance not as a reward handed down from some external, benevolent deity, but as the natural, inevitable, and inherent consequence of a soul finally vibrating at the frequency it was always meant to hold, at its authentic and sovereign energetic signature. This abundance manifests in myriad forms. Love that doesn't demand you shrink, but actively celebrates your vastness and encourages your expansion. Wealth that flows not from endless striving or arduous sacrifice, but from work that is actually a joyful, authentic, and effortless expression of your deepest gifts and inherent purpose. Relationships that don't require you to constantly translate your truth, to diminish your light, or to negotiate your essence, but rather see you, honor you, and reflect your true self with unconditional acceptance and resonance. Opportunities that don't need to be chased or forced, but seem to magically find you, appearing with uncanny synchronicity, because your energy signature has finally become legible, recognizable, and deeply magnetic to the world in the precise way it was always meant to be. This isn't a mere promise being made to you from some external source or a cosmic bargain. This is the inviolable pattern that follows completion. A universal law of energetic resonance. It has always been the pattern, unfolding reliably throughout all of creation. And you may have already, perhaps subtly at first, noticed the early, undeniable signs of this profound energetic shift. The way certain conversations, once heavy or draining, have begun to feel different, lighter, more resonant, or even simply fall away without effort. The uncanny way certain people have gracefully appeared in your life, arriving like blessings or precisely timed guides, or conversely, how others have quietly or sometimes dramatically disappeared, their departure feeling too precise, too divinely orchestrated to be mere coincidence. The way ideas that feel genuinely yours, ideas born from the authentic wellspring of your own intuition and higher knowing, rather than borrowed from the expectations or programming of others, are beginning to surface within you with increasing clarity, persistence, and undeniable urgency. That, my dear one, is your frequency powerfully shifting. It is your inner compass recalibrating to a higher truth. And as your frequency shifts, as your energetic signature becomes more refined and pure, it fundamentally changes the current, the very energetic environment around you. You don't need to loudly announce it. You don't need to perform it or strive to prove it to anyone. You are already, simply by being, transmitting it. And those who are meant to resonate with the specific, luminous vibration you now carry will be effortlessly and magnetically drawn into your orbit, into your sacred space, without a single explanation, justification, or overt effort from you. They will simply recognize your light. But there is still one crucial thing you must be willing to do, and in its profound simplicity, it is the very thing this entire intricate lesson, this entire arduous journey, was ultimately preparing you for. You must be willing, truly willing, to finally and unequivocally let go of what was never, truly, authentically yours to carry in the first place. This includes the myriad beliefs that were handed to you, often unconsciously, long before you were old enough, wise enough, or conscious enough to choose them for yourself. It includes the identities that were shaped by pain, by trauma, by fear, rather than by the pure, unadulterated truth of your soul. It encompasses the immense emotional weight, the unspoken burdens, the collective grief, and the energetic residue absorbed from people and places and experiences that had absolutely nothing to do with who you actually are, with your divine blueprint. You have been carrying so much that did not belong to you, an invisible backpack laden with the echoes of others' suffering, others' expectations, others' unresolved issues. And you carried it with such profound care, such unwavering devotion, such unconscious loyalty, believing it was part of your identity or your responsibility. But consider the wisdom of the flowing river. The river doesn't carry every single stone it passes. It observes them, acknowledges their presence, but allows them to sink gently to the bottom, settling into the earth from which they came. The river itself keeps moving, unburdened, flowing gracefully toward its vast destiny. And you, magnificent soul, have full, complete, unconditional permission. A divine decree from your deepest self to finally, consciously, and irrevocably set down what is not yours and keep moving, lighter, freer, more aligned than ever before. This is an act of profound self-love and liberation. Your awakening was never, not for a single moment, behind schedule. The years that felt lost, spent wandering in confusion, trapped in cycles of struggle, or simply existing rather than truly living, were not wasted. There is no such thing, in the deeper, multidimensional record of your soul's grand journey, as time lost, only time transmuted. The detours that felt like profound failures, like crushing setbacks, were not failures at all. They were essential curves in the road, winding paths that ultimately led you precisely where you needed to be. Every single moment of confusion, every tear shed in frustration, every period of doubt, was the water, the cosmic current of your evolution, actively working on you, moving through you, smoothing away what didn't belong, eroding the false layers, and meticulously revealing what was always, intrinsically, miraculously underneath. Like a precious pearl that can only form in profound darkness, under immense pressure, at the bottom of the deepest ocean, slowly, painstakingly, layer by exquisite layer, what you are becoming, the luminous being you are now embodying, could only have been shaped and refined by exactly what you've been through. And what you are becoming is not a project to be meticulously constructed or achieved through sheer willpower. It is not something you have to force, invent, or laboriously build. It is something far more profound, far more graceful. It is something you have to allow. You must surrender to the unfolding, trust the process, and simply allow your inherent magnificence to emerge. You're not here to simply fit into this world, to squeeze yourself into its predefined boxes, or to echo its collective narratives. You're here to gently, quietly, yet with immense, undeniable power, reminded of something profound it has collectively forgotten, something vital to its own evolution. This isn't accomplished through grand announcements or dramatic, attention-seeking gestures. It is achieved through the specific, unique quality of your radiant presence. It is expressed through the particular, compassionate way you hold sacred space for others, offering genuine listening and unconditional acceptance. It resonates through the unique frequency of your attention, your boundless compassion, your innate creativity, and your unwavering, authentic truth. The ancient ones, those wise beings who meticulously built the awe-inspiring temples by the sacred Nile, understood this fundamental truth. The most powerful act, the most potent force for transformation, is not the grand external gesture that seeks applause. It is the quiet, unwavering alignment of a soul with its own deepest nature, with its divine blueprint, with its authentic frequency. And that profound alignment, that resonant homecoming, is precisely what you are stepping into now, not someday in the distant future, not when conditions are perfect, but now, in this very moment, with every breath you take, with every beat of your heart, you are arriving. You are not waiting for external permission from anyone or anything. You are not waiting for tangible proof or validation from the world outside. You are not waiting for the world, in its often sluggish pace, to finally catch up to what you already know, undeniably, in the deepest, most sacred part of yourself. Consider the majestic tide of the ocean. It doesn't ask permission to arrive. It doesn't seek external validation for its power. It simply, gracefully, yet with unstoppable force, arrives, shaping the shores, answering the call of the moon. And you, dear one, in your magnificent unfolding, are arriving. The current has shifted, and you are being carried into your rightful place. Tonight, if it feels right, if your soul resonates with this invitation, place your hand gently over your heart. Feel its steady rhythm, the life force flowing within you, and say quietly, with profound intention, allowing the words to ripple through every cell of your being. I remember who I am. I trust the waters that carried me here. I am ready to flow into what comes next. Allow these words to anchor you, to affirm your truth, and to open you to the magnificent unfolding that awaits. Before you go, leave one word in the comments, just one that describes what you felt during this message. Then find someone else's word and respond with encouragement. This isn't just a comment section, it's a space where starseeds recognize each other, and that recognition carries more power than you know. If something in this message touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you'd like to keep receiving these transmissions, subscribe. The waters of Sirius will carry us to the next one. You're not just watching, you're remembering. This is your space, and I'm grateful you were here.